Oh yeah, it's that show. It's that show that y'all been waiting for. It's that Apocalypse Tips with Lester Pipps, and I, of course, am the Lester Pipps from the title. This isn't like a body switch movie where inside I'm Lindsay Lohan, but outside I'm Lester Pipps. No, no. It's really me. Just like I said I would, I'm doing the show again. Yo, oh baby, we got a great show tonight. Way later, way at the end, we got a kind of a major celebrity on the show who's, some people are saying a little bit of a bad guy right now. Governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, is going to be here. That's crazy. We also have a guy who is an expert on why the earth might be flat, although according to him, it is flat. I say might be just because I don't want him to feel alienated, but we all know it's not. We got Michael Majors on the show. And first up, we're going to get to him real soon. It's a guy who is a former celebrity chef, and his name is Tad Fingerling. Ooh, it's going to be so fun. But before we can get to all of that, well, we got to get to that intro song.
Apocalypse Tips with Lester Pipps is the show that you're currently watching. It's about to start with his amazing guests, and they're gonna tell you how to survive out in the apocalypse. It's Apocalypse Tips with Lester Pipps.
Oh, yeah, that's true still. It still is the show that it's called the Apocalypse Tips with Lester Pipps Show. What if the word show was in it? What if it was the show, Apocalypse Tips with Lester Pipps Show? Would that be redundant? But it's not, though, so we don't have to worry about whether it would be or not, because it's not. It is Apocalypse Tips with Lester Pipps. I'm the Lester Pipps from the title, and you might be wondering to yourself, who this guy? Why he think he get to talk to me about what apocalypse is? Well, I'll tell you what. Way before there was all these COVIDs up in the air trying to eat everybody's brains out from the inside, and longtime listeners will know that I say that all the time, and I've tried to get myself to stop saying it and say something new. I can't. It's just in the muscle memory, Way before them COVIDs was let's try something else. Way before all them COVIDs was digging themselves out of the ground trying to eat our little toesies. The COVID, I would go door to door to any open microphone situation I could get my hands on. And yes, most of them were comedy open mics in the LA area, but I wouldn't be doing comedy. I'd be going around saying, hey, y'all, there's an apocalypse is coming. We got to prepare. And I'd be educating folks on how to prepare. I became, according to me, the world's #1 most important apocalypse tips doomsday prep lecturer. And that's why, of course, I am coming to you live now from my bunker outside Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in the backyard underneath my ex-wife's house. Living down here with my 2 current wives. We did have a little bit of a thing with Idris Elba last week, but he decided not to stay. Go back to previous episodes if you want to understand that. And pretty much everything else I said. But yeah, I'm down here. We surviving, and of course, it is September 2nd, which, as y'all know, is World Coconut Day, y'all. September 2nd is World Coconut Day, and we do things, we can't get out of the bunker because there was a whole door malfunction. Again, listen to past episodes if you want to understand literally anything. But yeah, it's World Coconut Day. We don't have any actual coconuts down here, so what we've done is Claire has taken these 2 little rocks they were a little bit brown. They crumbled down from the ceiling when the door crashed. And she's hollowed them out and started wearing them around like a coconut bra. Meanwhile, Tamara is just drinking this expired milk and saying it's coconut milk. I hope she's going to be okay. That's what's going on down here. But look, I'm sure y'all are having a great time on World Coconut Day, doing your own thing. I might even ask my first guest about what he's been doing for World Coconut Day. So let's get to him right away. My first guest today is a former celebrity chef who you know and love, if you do know and love him. His name is Tad Fingerling, and he's right here. Tad Fingerling, welcome to the show.
Hey, Lester, thanks for having me on. Great to be here. Nice to see you.
Yeah, Tad, it's good to see you too, man. I'm glad you got on the email list and decided to come on the show.
Oh yeah, it's great to be back on the screens again. It's been a few years since I've been on people's TV.
Yeah, because you used to be a celebrity chef. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I won Mega Chef season 17, and things were going pretty great. I was kind of known for shooting from the hip, and cutting things my own way and playing by my own rules. And it sent me on a rocket ship straight to the top. And cut to 5 years later, I guess people just don't want the things the Fingerling Way like they used to.
Yeah, because I remember you made the Fingerling Way your catchphrase on the show on what did you say? Was it MasterChef?
Yeah, Mega Chef season
Mega
17.
Chef, that's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
MasterChef is the other one.
Fingerling
No,
Way,
you were Mega Chef.
Every time I put a play in front of the judges, I'd say, "Hey, what way would you like it? How about the Fingerling Way?" And it's cut to 5 years later, limousines and supermodels, and then cut to a couple years after that, and well, here I am.
Yeah, you a little down on your luck, it sounds like. But I mean, before we get into what's going on with you right now, I gotta know, how do you define the Fingerling Way? I obviously saw it on the TV, but tell folks about it. Is it like, when you get something Mike's Way at one of them sub places that's owned by a guy named Mike, or what is it like?
The Fingerling Way is purely organic. It's straight from the heart. I shoot from the hip and the heart. And it's you never can say from the day that you wake up what the Fingerling Way that way is going to go. You never know.
When you say you shoot from the hip and the heart, you don't mean that you're like putting a little bit of, you don't mean that you're like peeing or bleeding into the food, do you?
Lester, Pipps, oh my goodness, no, I can't say as I've ever done that in the food. That is never been the Fingerling Way.
That's real good, because I really wanted to be wrong about that. As soon as I started thinking it, I was like, I hope this isn't the thing. We don't want to spend a long time talking about this.
No, Lester, look, Lester, you got the 4 primary components in any dish, any great dish. You got salt, fat, acid, heat, right?
Yeah, like that book.
Right? But then the Fingerling Way, that's that 5th element. And that's just a little something special from the chef to the person that they're feeding. And you just never know from day to day what that could be.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of just like whatever you're thinking that day. So, okay. So let's say you was to make me a dish, and it had a salt, it had a fat, it had an acid, and it had a heat.
Yeah.
What would today's Fingerling Way be?
Well, I know that you're a big fan of the Popeyes Southern Fried Chicken.
Oh, it's not the Southern Fried Chicken. It's them Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Spicy Chicken Strips.
That's the one, because very excuse me.
You're very excused.
Cajun fried strips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that buttermilk. I'm going to take that spice. I'm going to take that breading, right? But instead of a piece of chicken, I might find like a leaf or something like that, like a palm leaf.
Oh, because okay. So
and then I deep fry it, and then I put it on the plate for you, because that's the Fingerling Way.
Well, I mean, hey, listen, I would try it. I will say that eating a leaf instead of eating some Popeyes chicken strip doesn't sound as good to me, but I'm open to trying it.
Well, that's the magic of the Fingerling Way. You never know until that day. Look, I remember one of my last big dishes, they put me in front of the Queen of England herself, right?
Oh, Elizabeth?
That's the one. And I finished off a delightful 6-course meal with an old-fashioned Yorkshire pudding. But instead of a custard, I filled it with motor oil, because that is what America is known for. And I thought, this is an American gift to you, the Queen of England. Here you go. Have it the Fingerling Way.
Wow. Because I remember when you were on the show, Mega Chef, the Fingerling Way was a lot more about season 17. Yeah, that's right. The Fingerling Way was a lot more about like adding a flavor that you knew the host liked. But now, do you feel like you experimenting beyond that, like with motor oil, for example, kind of maybe led to your downfall?
Lester Pipps, on Mega Chef season 17, I was but a child. And here I am, the grown man that I have blossomed into, and I was only dipping my toes into the Fingerling Way and seeing where the Rainbow Road would lead me. And now here I am. Today, I cook with Matchbox cars, with Legos, because I'm trying to get back in touch with that child that was inside me. Plastic army men.
Wow.
I'll throw it in, cover it in syrup, slap it on a plate. There you go.
You do understand that those things aren't foods, though, yeah?
They're not foods until you get your salt, fat, acid, heat. All the elements of the dish working together right there on the plate. Sometimes I'll just serve someone a plate on a plate. And I'll say, eat this. Eat it.
Where's the salt, fat, acid, and heat with that?
Well, put on some salt, drizzle on a little olive oil, juice a little lemon.
Okay.
And it's Frank's Red Hot sauce.
Okay, yeah, that's that kind of heat. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, Tad, I mean, that sounds bad, and it sounds like it's not food, but I have to ask, man, you seem like you loved being at the top. You know, you were saying you had the Lamborghinis and the supermodels when you were just off Mega Chef season 17. But then it sounds like, you know, lately you're cooking with army men and toys. And I'm thinking to myself, was living the big life too much for you? And you just kind of had to find your own self-sabotage to get out of it. And that's why you started eating things that aren't food.
Well, you know what they say. When you're at the top, there's nowhere to go but down. So I guess it was only organic. I guess my life is being eaten its own Fingerling way. And here I am driving a 1993 Toyota Tercel and cooking meals on the engine.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that is heat.
It's sort of my own food truck. That's my new business that I'm here. I would like to tell everyone.
Yeah, a lot of folks come on the show to let folks know about a certain way to survive an apocalypse, and it sounds like your own personal apocalypse is happening right now, and your way of surviving it is this food truck. Tell us about it.
I mean, what do you imagine we're going to be eating when the apocalypse comes? We're going to be eating cactus and gravel. So
not me. I got a whole bunker full of Popeyes. We just try chicken strips ingredients.
Oh, sure. But when you lose your can opener or it melts from radiation, you're going to have to eat the can.
Yeah, I'm also still on the hunt for the recipe, but hopefully I get that.
Well, you know, until then, here we are. I found a dead possum. It was only about 4 days old. Now, normally I don't dabble in meat that much like I used to, but, you know, it was floating down the stream, so I figured, hey, when the Fingerling Way calls, you got to listen.
Now, Tad, I hear that, and I support you, and I want you to be successful. But I am concerned because it seems like, I mean, when you fed the Queen of Elizabeth, England motor oil, the Queen of Elizabethan England motor oil, how did that go over?
I was poked many times with sticks. I was picked up by large men with furry hats, and I was thrown out on my ass. Now, if I recollect, that was really the big moment. That was the beginning of the end for me. That went viral on the internet.
Oh, that was you. Oh,
that's
my God, that makes so much sense. I remember seeing that video circulating where all the bobbies were beating on this guy, and they were saying, "Don't you feed the queen that rubbish! Don't you feed the queen that rubbish!"
And you probably forgot it was me because they labeled me random American biological terrorist.
They did. That's right. That was the headline of the video, and honestly, that was crazy.
And my last brick and mortar business venture, I called it Tad Fingerling's Biological Terrorism, trying to ride that wave.
Oh, boy. I'm sure that didn't go too well, did it?
I had 3 members of my family there on opening night, and we closed 3 days later.
Oh, no. Did the FBI shut you down because they thought you were making weapons?
A lack of money shut me down, Lester.
Okay.
I had a few teenagers come in on the last day thinking that I was some sort of leather goods clothing store, futuristic Mad Maxian type of fashion store. I said, no, kids, no, that's not me. Why don't you come in and enjoy a tall glass of seawater?
Hmm. Well, and seawater, of
That's
course,
the
was.
Fingerling Way.
And that's actual water you got from the sea?
Uh-huh. I loaded the bucket myself.
Wow. Well,
Small
is that
batch.
the kind of... Say again?
It was a small batch concoction. I loaded up one bucket, just one bucket. I brought it to the restaurant and I said, here you go to celebrate our last day.
Wow. And
They
is the
got
restaurant close to...
very sick.
Was the restaurant close to the sea?
Not as close as we would have liked, but location. You work with what you got. I had to drive about 2.5 hours, so I didn't get to cook much else that day.
That's dedication to your craft in a way, but also insanity in another way. I am curious, you're not serving things like that at this food truck you got working out of your car radiator, do you?
Oh no. I just, I got the armadillo, like I mentioned earlier.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I found some clay pots and I smashed those up and I sprinkled some salt, fat, acid, and heat on them.
Okay, well, I think you missed the message of that book a little bit, because salt, fat, acid, heat are essential ingredients, but they aren't like, you can't just add them to anything and make it food.
Well, Lester, I'll tell you what, you don't sound like have read the book about the Fingerling Way either.
That's true. I haven't read that. I did not read your book. I will admit that. I did not read your book.
Well, I've got a few copies in the back of the church cell.
Okay, well, swing them on by Baton Rouge, throw them into the husk of the bunker door, and maybe when it opens up, I'll be able to come get it.
Baton Rouge is very much a food town. I think they would welcome me with open arms.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, yeah. New Orleans is more known for being the food town. Baton Rouge, though, they got some crawdads. They do some stuff.
Well, New Orleans said I'm not welcome back. So Baton Rouge, I may check that out next.
Wow, what happened in New Orleans?
Oh, in New Orleans, people were saying like, oh, I love alligators. I love to eat catfish. So I was like, well, where do these things come from? The swamp. So I just got big fistfuls of mud, sprinkled on some salt, fat, acid, and heat, and, took a fan blade off of a fan boat and would take parts of that and I would stick it in the mud.
Oh, God, that doesn't sound like food at all, Dad.
Well, the fan blade was more about presentation, but if you want to eat it, hey, it's your own way. I only know the Fingerling way. You do your own way.
And so so you served this up to somebody that got you kicked out of the city of New Orleans for the rest of your life?
I served it to the mayor of New Orleans.
Oh, my God. And he said, sometimes I give out the key to the city, but this time I'm giving out a band to the city.
He said, I'm taking this key and I'm locking the door behind your ass. Yeah, and two defensive linemen from the New Orleans Saints picked me up and they threw me out on my ass.
That was you?
That was
I remember watching that viral video. Oh, my God. Because they were saying, who that gonna get beat by them Saints? And that was
who that biological terrorist? Who that? They thought I was British because I had just come back from England being labeled a biological terrorist.
Yeah, wow. Man, that's a tough life, Dad. I'm sorry to hear things have gone south for you. I have one last question before we do have to get to my next guest, but I have another question for you, which is, when you were on the show,
Mega Chef season 17,
you sounded a lot more like me. You had like a deep voice.
Uh-huh.
What happened, man? Normally I try not to ask my guests about their physical ailments, but it does seem like something serious has changed.
Well, I ate a lot of balloons since then.
Oh no.
I was sampling the Fingerling Way and seeing where is it going to take me next, baby. If I need to go up, the best way is with a balloon. So I ate 3 packages, and now I sound like this.
Jeez, just from eating the rubber, you didn't even blow them up first, did you?
That would have been pretty hard to eat them, Lester.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Wow. Well, Tad,
I may follow the Fingerling Way, but I'm not crazy.
No, certainly none of what you've said tonight has made you sound like you're crazy. Now, Ted, stick on. You might have questions for my next guest. He believes that the Earth is flat, and he has the proof. His name's Michael Majors, and well, he's right here. Michael Majors, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on your show, Lester. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who gets on my email list and emails me gets a chance to be on the show. That's why both of you are here.
Well, your name came to me when FlatCon and ApocalypseCon actually ended up sharing the same space. And, and I would suddenly realize that how much, and it's not a belief, it's a fact, how much people who are aware and of future apocalypses and preparing themselves are also usually very aware of the Earth being flat and how this can play to our advantage.
Oh, what do you mean by that? How could it play to our advantage?
Well, first of all, we don't need to worry about a nuclear holocaust because the Earth is flat and missiles fly straight. And since the Earth is a big circle, there's no way they can aim and actually have somebody hit. It's just too far.
Wait, hold on. Okay, wait. So missiles fly in a straight line.
Yes.
And therefore, because the Earth is a circle, you said.
Flat circle.
Oh, a flat circle. Oh, okay. Not a sphere, but a circle. Okay,
no. A sphere doesn't make any sense.
So wait, do you not believe in gravity?
I do believe in gravity, but let me ask you this, Lester. As so more and more Americans wise up and begin building their own bunkers.
Yeah, smart. You got to build a bunker.
If the Earth was a sphere, as people drilled down to build their bunkers, they would get closer and closer to each other. And with all these bunkers, they would start running into other people's bunkers.
Well, I mean, okay, I hear what you're saying, but like, for example, my bunker, it does go down into the Earth, but not through the crust into the mantle, into the magma, or into even the core, you know? So like it, yes, technically is down into the Earth, but it's like surface level, you know? Like, okay, let me make myself big screen here to give you an example. Okay. So like this is the Earth, right? And
it's a flat circle.
It's one glasses. Okay. Mm-hmm. See how my glasses is big blue and then a little bit of gold?
Mm-hmm.
My bunker's still on the gold, you know? It's not in the big blue. So it's not going to hit another bunker.
Right. I mean, the reason why that hasn't happened is because the Earth is flat.
Well, that's not what I said. Well, I got to look. I don't want to come in here and try to blow up your beliefs, Michael Majors. You tell me, how did you get into flat Earth theory?
You know what? I fell at work, and so I had a lot of time off.
Okay.
And I started looking at things on YouTube. And I kind of realized, like, you know, there was a lot of this stuff that was crazy, that I didn't believe. But there's something about flat Earth that just kind of resonated with me. And I was like, hold on a minute. Maybe NASA is doing this for the money.
Huh.
No. You know? It just doesn't make sense that the world is a globe. How would a plane fly? It would go straight. It would go right off the globe, just like a missile.
No, because gravity. But look, okay, I'm not here to debunk your beliefs. Well, I disagree. But
they take rockets to the moon, supposedly, and if the rockets are powerful enough to fly out of gravity, then why wouldn't a regular missile fly out of gravity? Okay, it's right there.
Okay, you ever drive a car, Michael Majors?
Yes.
So you know how you can sometimes put the pedal all the way down to the metal?
No, I actually live in LA.
Okay, well, okay.
But I know what you're talking about. You can accelerate so fast.
Yeah, so you don't have to, though, you know? Like, you don't have to accelerate the whole way.
Right, but I'm not a missile.
A missile could go fast enough to get out of the Earth's orbit. Doesn't mean it has to.
But if it's straight and goes up, it doesn't come back down to hit anybody. It's suddenly over the edge.
I'm not here to debunk your beliefs. I'd much rather understand how you came to them. So you were saying earlier that you think NASA's doing it for the money. What do you got against NASA, Michael Majors?
What I have against NASA is they're not telling the truth, Lester.
Did NASA lie to you when you were a kid?
No.
Oh.
Teachers did.
Who did?
They are also part of the conspiracy. The public school system is indoctrinating kids into this concept that would live on a sphere.
Okay.
Well. How about maybe you don't dig your bunker that deep, but I do know some people that do, and oil wells are very deep.
Yeah, but
they start running into each other if it was a globe, like the spokes on a bicycle.
Okay, you thinking about like a marble and a drill, and you saying like the drill would go into the marble and hit the other side. But no, we're talking about like a beach ball. No, not a beach ball because that would pop. We're talking about like a bowling ball and a thumbtack. You know what I'm saying?
A beach ball is a good example. Yes, because if we were round and we had all this pressurized magma in it, the more holes we would poke in it would wreck the structural integrity of a sphere, and that pressure would cause it to explode. You can't poke holes in the side of an aquarium and expect to still have the same integrity of that aquarium, right?
I mean, you could tap little divots into the glass and not have to worry too much. I'm not here to blow up your beliefs. I'm just here to understand you, Tad.
It really sounds like you're here to debunk his beliefs. I mean, the guy came on your show, and all you've done is argue with him the whole time.
I know. I'm trying not to, but it's so hard when I hear this stuff. Tad, what about you? Have you ever succumbed to these flat Earth conspiracies?
Hey, I won't just go where the Fingerling Way leads me. And if that is around in a flat circle or if that's a sphere, I mean, as long as you're willing to eat fistfuls of broken glass, you're my friend.
I think, you just have to think about it. And, it's not a conspiracy. The vaccine is a conspiracy.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no. You think the vaccine's a conspiracy, too?
No, I know it's a conspiracy.
Oh, Michael.
I've been able to keep myself sustained through a cocktail of ivermectin.
Are you drinking that horse wort stuff?
It's a paste. I spread it on my English muffin in the morning.
Oh, dear God.
I used to serve that at my restaurant.
Yeah.
You did? Oh, no.
Right before all this COVID stuff. Yeah.
And how many people had COVID in your restaurant while you were serving them that before the COVID outbreak? None of them.
This was in 2014, but I don't remember hearing anybody saying they had COVID.
Yeah,
it didn't exist yet. Man, I did not
want
to ganging up on me with these beliefs.
You can also I also take a cocktail of D vitamins.
D vitamins?
Yeah, that protects my cells, which are also round but flat. Just look at anything that teaches you about medicine. Cells are flat like the earth.
No, that's not anything in medicine.
And then I also finish that up with a regular cocktail. That's a little bit of a joke, I could tell.
Yeah, no, I think
because it's a cocktail because it's an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, it's a lemon.
And you watch the movie Cocktail with what's his face, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. That's another great example. When he throws those bottles up in the air and they rotate, like supposedly a sphere would, the force of rotation causes liquid to come out of the bottle. If we didn't fly off the planet, that again would wreck the integrity of our crust by having a bunch of holes in it, and that's just not true. I think people should feel safe to build their bunkers, to protect themselves from COVID vaccine.
No, you protect yourself from the COVID's trying to kill you, not the vaccine's trying to save you.
No, it's
I don't tolerate vaccine disinformation on this show.
I mean, have you got the vaccine?
Of course I did.
Did you get sick before?
No, I never got the COVID. I got all 3 vaccines. I got them all. I got them one after the other. I said, shoot me up, doc. The doc said no. I said, fine, I'll do it myself. And then I took them from the doctor's office and I shot myself in the arm with all 3 at once. I got very sick that night, but that's just because all the vaccines were fighting against each other in my system.
Well, they had all 3 vaccines in the one offer?
You know what? That was all those different patents fighting against each other in your body.
I don't think it was the patents. I think it was the actual medicine. But
No. And if you wanted to protect yourself, I would recommend sunscreen because that actually puts a layer on your skin that prevents anything from getting inside.
no, it
There's
don't.
so many ways to prepare yourself.
Michael Majors, you ever been outside with sunscreen on your skin, trying to protect yourself from the sun, get a little mosquito bite?
Mosquitoes are not COVID.
That's
or
true.
A vaccine.
I can't disagree with you on that one.
They're not COVID, but they are delicious.
And I'm not a sphere, so I don't have to worry about any loss of structural integrity from getting multiple holes poked in me, like we would with all these oil drills and if people built all these bunkers.
Okay. A mosquito bite is actually a very good analogy for what like drilling a bunker or an oil rig into the earth is, because it really doesn't really make a difference. It's like a minor irritant that you're just like, oh no, I'm gonna be fine.
Right, because your skin of your arm is flat.
No, it isn't. Show me that arm.
Look, that's not a sphere. It
wraps around the arm. The skin wraps around the arm.
What shape is a hot dog? Because it's kind of shaped like a hot dog.
A hot dog, Michael Majors.
It's not a sphere, though. Look, I can wrap a present. It doesn't make it round.
What?
You said my skin is wrapped around me, yes, but that doesn't make me round.
Okay, wait, hold on.
If I had
hold on. Are you objecting to the fact that we're calling the Earth a sphere, or the idea that the Earth is an object of mass, not a flat plane?
No, it is a flat plane, but it's a thick flat plane, so there is mass to it. Let's not be ridiculous. I mean, it has to be somewhat deep.
Oh God!
When they did Thor, they actually used footage of how the Earth really is. And as you can see on Thor, it's flat. I mean, it has mountains, but it is not a sphere. And how did they shoot that?
Scene from which Thor movie are you talking about?
All of them. Every time they show Asgard. Asgard isn't real, but they use the Earth as an example.
So Thor, wait, I just want to understand. So I just want to make sure that I'm picking up. You're giving a lot of information. So Thor, the Marvel movie, was real footage, but the moon landing was pretend.
Oh, don't even get me started on the moon landing.
I thought we already did.
Well, I mean,
you started on it a long time ago.
If you look at the moon landing, obviously fake because the flag is moving. There's shadows from the lights and the cameras. Who was on the planet to film the first step of man on the moon?
A tripod.
Who's off to the side taking pictures? The pictures are off to the side, to the outside of the ship. If nobody had gotten out of the ship until then, who's taking the pictures? Who's filming it?
Yeah, like the first step is staged. There's no question about that. But it was staged by the astronauts who were on the moon. One of the other astronauts got out first and put the camera up.
So you do admit they were lying.
Oh, yeah. There's no logical way that picture could have been taken without somebody else getting out first and setting up a camera. But that's fine.
If it's one lie, it's 100 lies.
No, it's the spectacle of the thing. The one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. It's like you want that moment,
That's because NASA wanted people to feel sentimental so they could keep bilking the people out of billions and trillions of dollars trying to...
Who benefits from this conspiracy, Michael Majors? Because all that money just gets sent out into space. No.
The people who work at NASA benefit.
The employees?
Yeah, they're all in on it.
Oh, no.
They just sit around, collect their checks, laugh at us. And that's why they're so threatened by people who speak the truth like me.
So, okay. Do you not believe that the Mars rover got built?
Yeah. It's somewhere out in the desert.
Somewhere in the desert?
Yeah. Why is it every time we go to an alien planet or place, it's desert?
Because there's no life on there.
It's empty.
Okay,
look. It wouldn't always be desert.
Michael Majors, I don't have the patience to try to cope with this right now. I don't have it.
It's hard because I realize I'm breaking apart your paradigm of what you've been institutionalized to think.
I have another question. I do have the patience. I do have the patience.
Okay, all right.
Michael, Mr. Majors, what is actually on Mars?
Nothing. It's a studio at Paramount.
No.
So Mars doesn't exist?
Oh, that's just a light that circles around. Like
there's no planets or anything?
No, not really.
Oh,
We're all just living under a giant dome that's on a flat disc.
The dome?
I'm trying to be emotional because
the dome, wouldn't that be round?
It's a disc is still round. A tire is still round, but it's not a sphere.
Okay. Okay.
A plate is a good example of the way the Earth really is. Because a plate, while circular, is not a sphere. Otherwise, you couldn't put things on it. If it was a sphere, everything would kind of crumble off to the side.
What's the moon?
A light.
A light?
Okay. That's why let's say that your theory that the Earth is just Asgard is real. Okay? Let's say that that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Who benefits from the people doing science thinking that the Earth's not Asgard?
Well, they're just like getting money together so they can come up with the next true conspiracy.
They're just putting money together to fund their lying?
They're funding. They use that money to fund their vaccine myths. They use it to cover up the reptilians.
Why?
They use that money to cover up the truth. You know, it's all part of JFK Jr.'s plan.
Okay, no JFK. Look, we got another guest to get to, but before we do, we have some questions in the chat. Real World Art says, "Hello, humans." Wizworld Live says, "When comedy streams are dropping like flies, we must salute those who stand resolute." I appreciate the intention of the comment, but this is not a comedy stream. This is very important, very real information.
Oh yeah, this is serious. This is serious.
So, Lester, you do think that what he's saying is real? I'm confused. I thought you didn't think that he's saying real stuff.
No, Dad, I don't think what he's saying is real. I'm just trying to move on.
Was that a lie then? So that was a lie. What you said before about this
I'm beginning to convert. I agree with you. I think I'm beginning to convert Lester to, the correct way of thinking.
It's starting to look that way.
No,
I've done hours of research on this.
Do you mean when I said
right?
Dad, do you mean when I said let's just say that the Earth is Asgard?
Well, no, you said that this isn't a comedy show. This is a real show about true things.
Well, no, right. My things is true, not Michael Majors' things. And honestly, not yours either. Michael's just laughing because these two idiots don't get it. And it's absurd that they don't get it, which I mean,
but I don't think Wizzy World should be calling Lester an idiot. He's just still kind of indoctrinated with the thought that's been processed by our true leaders.
Sean RF says I fucking hate plates, which Real Weird absolutely agrees with. Should I be going through all these? It's too late. It's happening. Wizard World Live apologizes. Thank you for recognizing that this is not comedy. This is very important truths that are coming out of my mouth, not theirs. Jock Podcast says the healthcare industry is heavily involved in reptilian cover-ups, but we try to keep that low profile. Oh God, I should have known Jock Podcast would come here and stir the pot.
Just Google reptilian photos, and it will show you who's really a reptilian.
Who?
The healthcare industry said. The healthcare industry also said I shouldn't feed people live fire ants, but there's fat, acid, and heat.
Yes.
So when there's one lie, there could be 100 others.
Oh my God. Now there's a lot of things in the chat. I'm not going to be able to keep up with them all because I do have to get to my next guest. It's very important that we do. I'm sure chat's going to love this. We have a guy who, right now is coming under a little bit of fire in a way. And I don't mean he lives under a volcano. I mean, he's been in a little bit of trouble. It's the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott. Greg, welcome to the show. Oh my God. Oh my God. Greg Abbott, I've seen pictures of you online, and what happened to your face, man? Okay, well, Tad Fingerling, Michael Majors, this is the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott. Seems to have maybe been through something recently.
I bet he took the vaccine.
No, I would never take the vaccine. That is the way it's gonna be. I think that the vaccine is alone of we.
Whoa, man. Greg, I've seen you do speeches before, and you didn't sound anything like that. What happened to you, man?
The liberal left would claim that I got the COVID-19, but I may have gotten it, but I felt no symptoms at all.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry to hear you got it. You do seem to be expressing some symptoms.
No, this is just a Thursday for me.
Okay.
I sit here in the hospital, which is where I am, and I eat my Jell-O pudding.
Okay. Jock Talk Podcast has a question for you, which is, what's your skincare routine? It's looking way better.
Thank you for that. My treatment to my skin is telling gay people they shouldn't be married.
Oh, God. Yeah, you do that a lot.
I yell at them, and usually they throw health ointment at my face.
They try to help you? They're so nice.
They try so bad, but I beat them off.
Phrasing.
Horrible phrasing. Is anybody hungry?
Oh, God, that's a big. Okay, for folks who are just listening to this right now, Greg Abbott has the face of what some might call Leatherface, and is absolutely holding a big chainsaw right now. Oh, your face disappeared for a second.
I'm fine. Does anybody want some Jell-O pudding? Oh, I mean, Jell-O pudding.
Oh, that's a rock? What is that?
It's definitely not a body part.
Oh my God. Well, now, I mean, you've come under fire this week because your state passed 666 laws on the 1st of September, and one of the major ones that people were upset about was you took away the ability for folks to have abortions in the state. What the heck, man?
I did that, and I don't feel bad about it at all. More people getting less abortions means more people who will be found by me outside because they can't afford houses.
Yeah. What?
I don't know. I kind of just do things. People gonna be poor because they have too many kids, or they'll be sued by people that I've hired as bounty hunters. Does anybody want any more food?
What else you got? I mean, Tad Fingerling is a cook, so maybe you two can connect over cooking.
Hold on. Oh, whoops.
Oh, that was a
Here we
quiet.
go.
But it sounded like maybe a chainsaw. It's still very quiet.
Here we go. Let me cut you a piece, Tad.
Oh my God.
Oh, so good and sweet. Mmm.
Yeah, so for the listener, there was a chainsaw dancing across the street, and what's supposed to be happening is a loud chainsaw sound, but it's very quiet. And then Greg Abbott took a bite of, I guess, a human?
What? I would never do that.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Anyway, thanks for having me.
Okay. Well, look, Governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, you emailed me saying you wanted to be on the show to clear up some of the things that have been going on in your state. And one of the things is, of course, the laws that got passed, but another thing is there have been a lot of people going missing. You don't happen to know anything about that, do you?
I'm hearing about that right now, and we're doing everything we can. I contacted the real president of the United States, and he said, "Stop calling me." So we're working on it.
Okay.
As long as everybody doesn't wear masks, we'll find them. Because if you wear your mask, it will be in front of your eyes. Because you're blind. Everything makes sense what I'm saying.
Well, you three have a lot in common. My three guests today, in that all three of you have said things that make absolutely no sense, and I am confused about what to do about it.
That seems to be a common theme on your show, Lester.
Well, some weeks
It does seem to be pretty common. I do have a question for the governor. Doesn't he, I'm just assuming that you have eaten a person or two, but doesn't banning abortion ruin the opportunity for you to try human veal?
Oh, God.
Two words. Stem cells.
I thought you were anti-stem cell, Greg.
I am. Because they're taking all of that. It's been a problem.
Well, I know you're anti-stem cell research, but maybe you don't want them being researched, but you do want them being eaten.
That's correct. That is absolutely correct.
Okay, well, happy to provide you with that answer. Now, now, Jock Talk Podcast has a couple of questions here. One of them is, Greg, is your wrist sore from signing a Mark of the Beast amount of bills into law?
Yes, we passed 666 laws into Texas yesterday, so we're almost there, y'all. Just a little bit longer, and we'll find that the apocalypse is truly upon us.
Is that what you're doing it? You're trying to bring about the apocalypse?
Maybe! I'm gonna bury the chainsaw before we dig it up, or whatever that hatchet expression is.
Yeah, bury the hatchet would be like when you're done fighting a war, you would bury the hatchet because you no longer need it.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it means.
Okay.
We're going to start the new war, and it's going to be on all fronts. And as long
Who are
as
you going to war with, Governor of Texas? Are you saying is this an exclusive on Lester Pipps that Texas is going to secede from the Union and go to war with the United States?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not just on to the United States, but on to China and Russia and Iran and women and black people and everyone.
Yeah, that sounds like you. I do have some questions here from real weird art. That is weirdly hard to say in my very normal, authentic accent. Real weird art asks, pretty sure Abbott's just a friend of Lexter that he brings in to distract from Michael Major's truth.
That could be a real possibility.
I will say that I support you, Michael Majors. Freedom of speech is important. Freedom over your bodies is not.
Interesting. Sean RF says, as a native Texan, I've always appreciated how much Abbott reminds me of Gilbert Gottfried.
That's definitely what I was trying to do.
It's odd because Jock Talk Podcast right before that said Greg's impression of Cosby is spot on and timely.
Thank you for that correct reference.
Wow. And then Real World Art also says, wait, what's Tad's deal? He seems like a real cool dude.
I'm a former celebrity chef.
Unrelated, Tad, how would you prepare a heart? A human heart? How would you do that? Or even a uterus? How would you prepare the uterus?
I would probably take the uterus. I would sprinkle on some salt, some fat, some acid, some heat, and then I would take about 3 foot square of tree bark, and I would shove as much tree bark into the uterus as I possibly could.
Why?
Bon appetit! Because that's the Fingerling Way.
Got it. Thank you. That sounds just as good as a baby pudding. Oh, yum, 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 yum.
Well, Real World Art has an excellent, interesting suggestion here, which is, so Lester decides who he's going to go on a date with now, ? And he's on Team Majors. He or she's on
Is
Team
this
Majors.
a dating show?
This hasn't been a dating show, except for the times when my 2 wives declared themselves married to me, and then we tried to date Idris Elba. Other than that, it hasn't really been a dating show. But I guess I'm going to ask you each. I guess, yeah, now that the question's been asked, I'll pretend that it is, and I'll ask you each one question. Contestant number 1, Tad Fingerling, if you were to take me out on a date, where would we go?
Sorry, I'm just. Thank you for clarifying that contestant number 1 is me. I would have guessed, but it's good to know for sure.
Yeah, this is one of those dating shows where I do know who the contestants are.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's its own thing. It's a new intellectual property.
Yeah, it's something we're making up on the spot just because Real Weird Art said it. Real Weird Art said it. That's so hard to say.
If I was to take you somewhere on a date, we would probably go to Dodger Stadium, where we would try their legendary cuisine, sliced up baseballs on a plate, sprinkled with hot sauce, olive oil, and lemon juice.
Wow. Okay, wrong answer, but good try. Real Weird Art says that Tad's like if Mario and Luigi had a baby, and that's because Tad is wearing overalls, I think, or an apron. No, it's an apron. But
I'm a chef.
Yes, a chef. Real
Me
Weird
too. I'm also wearing an apron.
Oh, that's bloody. Real Weird Art, if you couldn't tell, Tad's thing is making food with things you don't eat. Michael Majors, contestant number 2, if you were to take me out on a date, where would we go?
Well, I think we'd start at Applebee's.
Okay.
And have a couple of cocktails and eat. It's always a nice way to start a date.
Yeah.
And maybe we would go to a coffee shop and maybe listen to some music. So we'd also be able to talk. And then maybe down Santa Monica Pier. Down there, and then we could get on the Ferris wheel.
Sure.
When we were at the top, I could show you how everything looks flat.
Oh, no. I should have known that was coming.
You know, that's why the water is flat. Water isn't round.
Some of the waves are round. When the waves are they get a little bit round on the top.
Yeah, a little bit round, but they can't stay. They can't stay.
I'm not here to debunk your ideas, but you can see the horizon. Look, contestant number 3.
Let me take you to that Ferris wheel, Lester.
Maybe after the COVIDs are out of the world. Governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, contestant number 3, where would you take me out on a date?
Well, I see that you are a white man. And so, for that reason, and that reason only, I would take you to California, where we would vote here for Larry Elder with all 860 ballots that I happen to have, even though that I'm from Texas.
Governor Abbott, are you telling me that you are rigging the California recall election?
What? Who? Me?
Wow. If that doesn't encourage you to get to make sure you get your ballots in and stop the recall if you don't want it to happen, I don't know what will. Thank you all for answering those questions. You all got it wrong, so I'm going to extend the question out to Real Weird Art. Real Weird Art. If you were to take me on a date, where would you take me? Contestant number 4, Real Weird Art. While you're thinking of that, we will get to your answer, but we just have a little bit of time left here on the show. So Tad Fingerling, I'm going to go to you first. Is there anything that you would want folks to check out on the internet? And I do mean, of course, people should check out the videos of you getting kicked out of Louisiana and the Queen of Elizabeth in England's place. But anything else?
Well, I have a petition that's going around to redefine the terms of biological terrorism. So if you can go to redefine the terms of biological terrorism, Mega Chef Season 17, former winner Tad Fingerling, former celebrity chef. I know it's a really long website, but if you go to that website, you can sign the petition. That would really help me out. If you want to learn more, just go on to Instagram to @who's-Sam Sibilsky. Find a lot of more information there about cuisine, about salt, fat, acid, heat, the Fingerling Way, and all of these things together. Oh, there it is. Thank you for copying and pasting that definitely real website, Lester.
And I'm pretty sure I got it exactly right with what you said.
I'm sure it's close enough.
Michael Major, same question for you. Anything that you want folks to check out on the internet?
Well, definitely. We run a very professional web page, not nearly as long as Tad's. But I highly recommend that you go to flatearthcon.com/Wix. And so you can see the facts there. I also recommend checking out various YouTube things. I recommend looking and doing your own research. Like I said, I spent some hours on YouTube and I became very well informed.
Okay. Anything that might be showing on the screen right now that you want to mention for the folks listening at home?
If you go to that guy, Greg David Jones, he thinks he's really funny. Thinks that flat Earth is a joke. I really don't want to recommend any of his YouTube sites. To check out any of his videos. Fever, Fever Comedy. I don't, please, just don't do that.
Ringing endorsement for fevercomedy.la, but well done.
Yeah.
Next up,
don't see him on Funny. Don't see that guy on Funny or Die either.
Yeah, definitely don't look up Greg David Jones on Funny or Die. Governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, anything that you want folks to look at on the internet?
Oh, if you see something, say something. Definitely go to prolifewhistlerblower.com and maybe write down anything you want. That's prolifewhistler.com, and feel free to talk about the burrito you ate and how it costs $1 extra to get guacamole and how delicious it tastes, and that you got it from Dr. McDonald.
Leading more into the Gilbert Gottfried every moment. I love it.
I think the last guy that Governor Abbott ate was high.
Oh.
I think that must be it. Wow. Okay. Coming back. Now, real weird art. Before those plugs, I did ask Real Weird Art where they would take me out on a date. Contestant number 4 is Real Weird Art, and they said Dave and Buster's, because just in case there is an apocalypse, I'll be damned if we're gonna die bored. Wow. I mean, it's a good answer. I'll say that it's a good answer. but obviously it's not correct. There are two other folks still watching the show, so I'm going to give you all a chance. At Jock Doc Podcast and at WizWorld Live, two shows that I am plugging for them. If either of you can guess the correct answer to where would you take me out on a date, I'll be thrilled. And if you can't, that's okay. But you have until I finish my plugs to guess. My plugs are, of course, my publicist is at Ezra Partier on Instagram, at Ezra Potter on Twitter and TikTok. He's been like publicizing all kinds of stuff lately, including the show the Daily Misinformer at Daily Misinformer on TikTok, and my own show at Lester Pipps. Plus, he was just in an episode of the show Bothered. Check out Bothered on Sika TV. And let's see if WizWorld Live. Okay, WizWorld Live says I'd take you to your bunker, of course. It's it's almost the right answer. Jock Doc Podcast, you have about 3 seconds. I mean, that's just an arbitrary number I said. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to guess if you want to. Those are all of my plugs. Let's see. Did Jock Doc Podcast says we would be in a parade, which is not the right answer, but it's close.
That was going to be my second guess.
That was WizWorld Live says, okay, whorehouse. How about a whorehouse? No, that's not right. The right answer is, of course, a Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen, y'all. What are you thinking?
I prefer Whataburger.
No, you don't. Y'all, that's been the show. It's time for us to go. One more rhyme on the way home.
Bless Texas. God bless the people of Texas.
Thank you, Gilbert Gottfried. Before the show can end, it does have to end the way that it always does, which is by me just kind of casually leaving the internet.
That was the show. Now we did it. You know how to survive an apocalypse. So now we're gonna talk about saying thank you to you. Thank you for watching the show, and thank you to these guests for doing the thing for you tonight or today. And also thank you to the Pack Theater for hosting. Now it's time to say, get out there, survive, and make humanity proud.
You can find the show at Lester Pipps on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can also find all the video archives on EzraParter.com/Lester Pipps. So please like and subscribe and all those things.